We are back from closed session. We're going to do a roll call certification.
Do each of you certify that, to the best of your knowledge, only public matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements, and that only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed session was convened were heard, discussed, or considered? I will now call the roll. Mr. McGraw. Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
Mr. Coda.
Aye.
Was that Mr. McGraw?
He's on there. Start again.
Mr. McGraw, do you so certify that to the best of your knowledge, only public matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements, and that only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed session was convened were heard, discussed, or considered?
He's on mute.
Mr. McGraw, can you hear us? I think you're on.
Yes, yes. Ellen Robertson, yes.
Thank you, Ms. Robertson. Okay, I'll mark his out. Mr. Coda, are you here to certify?
Yes.
Mr. Coda.
You said you.
Mr. Winslow.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Holland.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Engel.
Aye.
Ms. Fry. A note Mr. Davy is absent. Mr. Sharp.
Yes.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker. I'll mark him as absent. Mr. Nelson.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Bannon.
Yes.
Ms. Thornton.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Baca.
Yes.
Ms. Page.
Yes.
Ms. Pearson. Yes. Mr. Byerly.
Yes.
Mr. McClung.
Yes.
Mr. Hall.
Yes.
Thank you. Dr. Newville.
Yes, and Councilwoman Lambert is having difficulty joining. Maybe if someone could resend her a link.
Okay, we'll work on that.
Daniel McGraw here, but I don't hear any of you.
This is you.
Can you hear us?
He said he can't hear.
Mr. Addison.
Here.
Ms. Robertson, I got you already. Mr. Giovia.
Aye.
Thank you. So other than the absences that I noted, Ms. Lambert, with the technical difficulties. I know, but she did not.
I'm here.
Okay, do you so certify?
I'm sorry.
Do you certify that the closed session was conducted in the manner it was supposed to be?
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Could you ask Addison again, please? He just said here.
Mr. Addison, would you certify, please? Yes
Aye.
or no?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we are out of closed session. I need a motion to recommend, I need a motion to authorize the chair to finalize negotiations subject to legal review and execute lease agreement for the current.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second.
Who made the second? Thank you.
Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Let's do a
Roll call.
Want to do a roll call? All right, let's do a roll call.
Mr. McGraw. Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
Mr. Coda.
Aye.
I don't. Mr. Winslow.
Aye,
I'm going to note that that is also for Mrs. Haley's vote.
it is.
Mr. Holland.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Engel.
Aye.
Ms. Fry.
Aye.
I will note that Mr. Davy is no longer here. Mr. Sharp.
Yes. Aye.
Thank you. Mr. Davis,
Aye.
noting that you have 2 votes. Mr. Peterson.
Aye.
Mr. Whitaker. Okay, moving on. Reverend Nelson,
Aye.
noting 2 votes. Mrs. O'Bannon,
Nay.
noting 2 votes.
What are we voting on?
Ms. Thornton,
Aye.
Mr. Baca,
Aye.
Mrs. Page,
No.
Ms. Pearson,
Nay.
Mr. Byerly,
Nay.
Mr. McClung,
Nay.
Mr. Hall,
Nay.
Dr. Newbill,
Aye.
Mr. Addison,
Aye.
Ms. Lambert,
Aye.
Ms. Robertson,
Aye.
Mr. Giovia.
Aye.
Okay, due to the loss of persons, we now have 27 people. I counted 24 and 7 no. Is that correct, Chet? Okay, let's just confer for a moment.
Wait a second. Ms. Heater, can you hear me okay? This is Bill Cota.
Yes, sir. We did not capture a vote for you.
That vote would be aye, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, now we're reconciled.
Okay.
So
What's the vote count?
Okay.
we had 21 ayes and 7 noes.
All right, thank you all for coming through that with us. Can I get a report from Audit, Facilities, and Finance Committee? Mr. Holland?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the report is that the financial condition of the organization is, PlanRVA is very good. Looking at, starting on page 8, you will see a summary of information. In essence, indicating that we do, record transactions on the modified accrual basis. Looking at the profit and loss statement, incomes to date, year to date is positive by the amount of, let me get to it, hold on just one sec. Positive by the amount of, just had just a moment, excuse me. Just one moment here. $8,723 year to date through December 31st, 2021. So income is positive. The balance sheet has continued to improve since June of last year by $243,800 on page 16, the financial position of the RPDC. And so the condition is positive, and we continue to improve year to date. And we expect to be positive as well by year end as well. June 30th, 2022. Are there any questions regarding the financials? Mr. Van Doren is here to help assist us if there are specific questions on specific line items.
Any questions for Mr.
Please
Holland?
also look at the balance sheet on page 11. Mr. Chairman, you can see graphically it shows we have continued to improve since 2019.
Wonderful.
Any
Any questions for Mr. Holland?
Any questions or comments? Excuse me.
All right. We need to move to
I
accept those.
move that we approve the financial report and adopt it for audit.
I have a motion, second. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, branding update, and I think Mr. Davey had to leave. Martha, you're gonna make that update?
Yes, I'll just, in the interest of time, say that we've dedicated a program portion of our meeting agenda for March to really dig into this. The Public Outreach Committee meeting is scheduled for March 1st, and members will hear the deep dive after last month's overview of the findings of the branding project. So it's coming to you next month to hear the Brand Federation's results of their investigation and discovery and their recommendations. I think the briefing that Mr. Davey and I had earlier this week, we're excited. We're excited to show you what they've come up with. I will brace you for two things. One, it's nothing crazy. So two, I just wanted to say thank you so much for everyone who participated in that process, because your feedback has really been what is shaping what will come before you next month.
Wonderful. Well, we look forward to that presentation. And then we have intergovernmental and environmental reviews.
These are included in your packet for review each month. So again, it's not an action item, but it's for your review to see what staff has been processing over the last month as far as these reviews that come in. And if I may, Mr. Winslow, I'd like to request that we defer the final item on the staff report to next month as well, the key imperatives quarterly report in the interest of time. I'll just note that I think back here on the table, there's a nice piece that's been published, and we'll send a link out electronically for you. The Community Foundation and we, as you know, launched that COVID-19 Emergency Response Fund in 2020, generating about $7 million of donations that were contributed back out to the community to help relief. So they've done a really nice report that summarizes, what happened with that project. So we'll send that out to everybody, and just wanted to say thanks for the support on that.
Wonderful. And then our last item.
Our last item, I'm very happy to introduce you to Nora Amos. So Sid, if you could actually pin her when she comes on. Nora is here today to share and give an update from the town of Ashland. This is our spotlight on local innovation in planning. So Nora, we're so grateful for you. Thank you for your patience with us today. And we're glad to have you.
Thank you so much, Martha. And I understand that you all probably are ready to get on with your day. So I will try to move through my slides fairly quickly. Are you able to see these?
Yeah, they look great.
Okay. Okay. So I am Nora Amos, the Director of Planning and Community Development for the town of Ashland. Thank you so much for having me. Similar to Charles City County's presentation last month, which I very much enjoyed, we get excited about some of the smaller things like a new Dollar General that perhaps some of our larger localities may not even know is happening until you drive by and see the new one open. So as I move through some of these things, hopefully some of the things I share can perhaps help you in your localities. Being a small community of approximately 7,500, we're able to be quite flexible and innovative. We always say we like to be the first, whether it be in the region or the state, to try new things. We, over the past probably 5 or 6 years, had numerous businesses who had reached out to Comcast to get new service, who were unable to get that service without paying a significant amount in infrastructure upgrades. In 2019, our town council adopted a strategic broadband master plan. So really, before it got hot in the region, we were excited to be able to make investments to partner with Segra, a third-party partner there, to install lit fiber as well as conduit for future fiber. We really concentrated our efforts in commercial districts. And I'm going to go through these. I had a lot of notes, but I'm trying to brief them up due to the time. But if anyone has any questions about these projects I'm discussing, feel free to follow up further. So as a result of extending that fiber, another issue that we found our businesses were having is that the Wi-Fi that they have at their business is barely enough to run their point of sale systems. Oftentimes their POS was shutting down. We also have been trying to promote tourism and visitors in our downtown. Through the use of ARPA funds, which is allowed to be used for tourism efforts, we're going to be able to provide free Wi-Fi to a majority of our downtown. So from Route 1 all the way just past the railroad tracks to Town Hall, we'll have free public Wi-Fi. It also covers Randolph-Macon College. As part of that, we're able to collect a significant amount of data to figure out where our visitors are coming and be able to reach out to them in the future in order to use that free Wi-Fi. And we'll coordinate with our businesses and signage around town to promote that. Another exciting project that we're working on, about 10 years ago, I used to like to tell people we had more electric vehicle charging stations per capita than anyone else. With the growth of these types of stations, that has changed. And so we're trying to pick back up. We've partnered with GreenSpot LLC through the Center of Innovative Technology, who is the town's partner on all of our smart community efforts, and also through Virginia Clean Cities Initiative. In 2020, there were 1.8 million electric vehicles that surpassed 2 million at this point, registered in the US, and that is more than 3 times in 2016. With the reduction in cost of these vehicles and the incentives provided through the state and federal government, we feel that this is something that should be picking up. If you have an electric vehicle, you know that you go on a map to see where to find these charging stations. And so again, we see this as a tourism opportunity. You see the map, you see these charging stations, you come to our downtown, we have them in our municipal parking lot as well as our library parking lot. And you can charge while then going and having a lovely dinner and shopping at our retail shops. Green Spot has installed these chargers in other localities, but we will be the first in Virginia to partner with the company. As I mentioned, CIT is who we've used to partner on other smart technology. We are in Ashland, a bowl. We get flooded a lot, and we make significant efforts to improve our streams and to educate our citizens on flooding. But we have also installed flood sensors in our streams, and our Public Works Department is able to get text messages now if the water is rising. To follow on the flood theme here, we participate, as most localities do who have flood zones in their area, with the National Flood Improvement Program. We were probably 3 or 4 years ago certified as a community rating system class 9. I'm thrilled to announce that in the next month or two, we'll be moved up to a class 8, which provides our property owners who are required to get flood insurance a 10% discount. This map shows the other localities in Virginia who participate in the CRS program. And as you can see, it appears that Richmond is the other in the region. We've most recently talked to PlanRVA about the potential of them providing assistance to other localities to potentially participate in this program. So I don't have to speak on this too long, but I'll say, for those of you who know our council member, John Hodges, when I started 13 so years ago, one of the first things I spoke with him about was the Water Road connection and the potential for a trolley line trail. And so it's something we have been working on for years. We're thrilled to be the trailhead of the fall line and to just last year open up the first section. We can't wait to be able to get to Petersburg. Moving on to some more economic development items. This area is what we call our Golden Mile. So we have one interstate exit here, exit 92, between 95 and Route 1 is where the town makes most of our revenue. With a 10-cent property tax, as you can imagine, that's not where we're getting most of our funds. But we are able to collect meals and transient occupancy tax. And so that really does fund the work that we're able to do in our downtown area and for our citizens. Unfortunately, over the past numerous years, we've seen a lot of vacancies and really lack of maintenance of our properties. And so through the investment with our Economic Development Authority, we have been able to see revitalization come. And so this is where I felt it for Charles City County last month. And so in the top left, this is the Apple Garden Inn. It has been vacant for numerous years and became vacant due to building code compliance issues, as well as drug blight and other criminal activity. The town, about a year ago, in partnership with Economic Development Authority, purchased this property. We worked with the DQ to get a brownfields grant, and it is now demolished and ready to be redeveloped. And we're working on an LOI to have that happen hopefully over the next year. To the right is the Ponderosa, which in the region is probably known best, sadly, for the 2002 sniper shooting. It is now demolished and becoming a Panda Express. The bottom left is a bank building that's been vacant for over 15 years. It's an eyesore next to one of our nicest hotels. It is being redeveloped currently as a Chipotle. And the bottom right is a Burger King that's been vacant for about 5 years, and it will be a Popeyes. And so we are very excited to see what the next fiscal year brings to the town. So one of the things that I have enjoyed working on the most over the past year and a half, as terrible as COVID's been, this has kind of been a bright spot for us, is that through ARPA and CARES, we've been able to give out business grants. For the town of Ashland and our small budget, we've been able to give out $1.5 million in funds for safety, rent and mortgage coverage, as well as a venue support program. We're also one of the first to close down our streets and sidewalks to allow for outdoor dining. And that was such a hit with our visitors that we've maintained that and intend to keep that permanently. On to some of the master planning we've been able to do with COVID. We've had some time to do some planning. On the left, we're working with Randolph-Macon College on their master plan. If you haven't driven through Randolph-Macon's campus, I highly recommend you come up here. They have made significant investments in their sports programs as well as their educational programs. They now offer nursing and physical and another nursing program. I apologize, can't think of it. And in the middle is if you went to this property, it's an old kind of run down shopping center. I'm sure we all have these strip centers. It used to be home to Food Lion, who moved just north, and they are holding a 40-year lease on their spot. And so it is sitting vacant potentially for the next 40 years. And so to kind of help the property owner visualize potential and future investment and revenues, we worked with the Timmons Group to create a few different options for master planning. And then to the right, the Holland property, Holland Technology Park. Again, we brought in Timmons to assist us with this property, which we went through the Virginia Ready Business Sites Ready program, and we're a Tier 4 certified, one of the few in the state. And this master plan kind of just helps us tell our story of what we would like to see on the property, which is something that we hear developers tell us all the time, as opposed to telling us what you don't want, tell us what you do want. And we did a review of the assets on the property and potential needs. And now we're moving forward to the next phase to see how we can address some of the gaps that showed up in the needs analysis. The final project, super excited again to work on, is our England Street. We call this our red carpet to our downtown, but as you can see, our red carpet's gotten a little dirty. We have these overhead power lines, and so we're going to use some of our ARPA funds again to move the power lines off of the street, improve landscaping, and improve the pedestrian facilities. And so I apologize that I talked so quickly. I know that's a lot of information. That really concludes my presentation. And I hope that you come and visit us in Ashland.
Thank you, Ms. Amos. And these presentations are so good for all of us because we get to see what's going on in planning in our member jurisdictions and take ideas back and think about things sometimes in different ways back home. So we really appreciate your presentation and your comments, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you. Yeah. All right. With that, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Thank you all.